Oh my goodness. Didn't even wake her up.
She's out.
Here we go. Episode number 8. Here we go. Revelations podcast with guest appearance.
Whoop, whoop.
Miss Whitney Moore.
The Whitney Moore.
The Whitney. Yep.
Prevail strength instructor. World record holder.
I knew that was going to come up.
Grand Canyon 2-passer.
Lots and lots of things.
We'll get into that.
But yeah. So we are Sean and Danny from Prevail Strength and Fitness, and we'll get to we're going to interview, or Whitney will either interview us or we'll interview her today, however this goes, for our first official guest appearance.
And we have like another tiny guest over here.
She doesn't
Andy
say
Jane.
much.
We'll see how long she sleeps.
Imagine if we're still doing this and she can actually speak on the podcast.
It'd be so fun.
What episode will that be?
There's a dad and his little boy, and
200.
that's what I watch.
Oh
He
my
interviews
goodness.
him.
Oh,
often
cute.
That's
about
fun.
How old
sorts
is
of
he?
things. He looks like he's 3, but he talks like he's like 5 or 6. So I'm not really sure.
Sure.
That'd be fun.
Cute.
Wow. Yeah, that
Cute.
would be fun.
That would be fun.
Okay, here we go. Well, let's, I guess, lots of things we can go in direction with this. Well, we're just going to go over a little bit of who Whitney is, who she is in the Prevail world.
Uh-huh.
And then really the goal for us was like, we should really start to interview instructors at the studio. For one, it was like so that other instructors could learn more about each other, because there's other instructors sometimes like you don't now there's 2 locations for sure. It's weird, but like you may only see an AM instructor like once a quarter at a team meeting, right?
Yeah.
So, and then secondly would be so that students get to know you, and then also so that whoever is watching gets to know
Yeah.
you, and we get to learn more about you. I mean, we've had a bazillion conversations, so
Yeah.
we'll see what's left to learn.
Right.
But we did throw it on the stories this morning, some questions.
Okay.
And so we do have some questions from students
Okay.
and instructors
Yeah,
that are curious about Whitney.
yeah, curious. So let's start with, I mean, let's go to I guess we'll go down the little bit of Prevail tract first. Let's see, quick rundown of your Prevail history. So I guess phase 1, step 1 was,
I came for Bring a Friend.
okay, and that was when?
2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like May 2019? May?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I remember when you came in.
Yeah. Yeah, I was currently studying, had just passed my NASM cert,
Uh-huh.
personal training,
Uh-huh.
and knew like I was looking for something different than what I was doing, both for me and for where I wanted to land.
Mm-hmm.
Had found out about you guys through like a friend of a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and thought I really want to check that place out.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, why though? At that point in Whitney's arc, what stood out about what we were doing at Prevail? Because it's interesting, because what Prevail was then and what Prevail now, similar, but quite a bit different,
Right.
of a different machine
Yeah.
than it is now.
yeah, I was at a stage in my life where like the things that I had been doing just weren't like serving me well anymore.
Uh-huh.
Right. I'd been active my whole life,
Uh-huh.
kind of like back up. I was a youth athlete. I was always active, even, when I moved to Oklahoma and had a job, like my first stop after the work day was to like go to the gym and
Mhm.
move my body for an hour or whatever
Mhm.
before I went home. Landed in more of like the high intensity world,
Right.
when it kind of boomed in the kind of mid 2000s, I guess, and stayed there for probably 5-ish years.
Yeah, that's probably that
Like
peak was in like the 2010,
Yeah.
2013, 15 kind of like range.
Yeah. It was definitely before my first pregnancy, and
Okay.
was still with me after my second, but found myself more often like in those sessions as I learned myself and my body better, that things just weren't serving me. Like I was like modifying things on my own, and it was this really part of it spurred the like, why did I want to educate myself through NASM or some other cert, was like I just felt like I needed more information. You do better when you know better, kind of a philosophy.
Yeah.
And what I'd heard about Prevail was that y'all knew better to kind of do better things in a smarter, more sustainable way.
Yeah. And so and to anchor that, we'll go over like how old were you in like real life at this point?
Real life.
Yeah.
So Prevail, like walking into Prevail.
That May of 2019.
Yeah.
So May of 19.
I was about to turn 39.
Okay. Yeah, that's important because I also wanted to ask, do you think, if you can like track back, what was your first memory of fitness?
A street race in a little town that I grew up in. I was 5 years old. Little celebration they had every spring called the Snooze Alley Bash. Like men spit snooze into buckets. Okay. Yes.
Men
What
spit
is she?
Right.
What is she?
snooze?
Did she just say snooze? What is snooze? Is that like this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
This
like,
stuff.
Like
Tobacco?
dip,
The jaw stuff?
tobacco.
Dip.
Oh, I've never heard it called snooze
I
before.
haven't either, but I like that name better than
Maybe
dip.
it's
That's
like
cute.
a Norwegian
Snooze.
thing. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're from where?
I am from South Dakota, the northeast corner of South Dakota.
Okay.
Okay, so you did a snooze
So you're from
road.
up north, up in the Dakotas, where they call dip snooze.
Yes.
Well, I guess there must be some sort of slang because it's also called snuff.
Oh yeah. I've heard snuff before, but I like snooze.
Okay.
It's a
Anyway,
good one. Okay.
the point of the story is that they had a kids race down Main Street after the parade. Like, joined the race.
Okay.
And like, I won the race at like 5.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Of course.
And I was like,
And was it this all ages?
yeah, it was like kids of all ages. I was like,
Okay.
this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember like if they had a cutoff or not, but I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was like my first memory of I can do things with my body and get a like result or reaction from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that was like a cascade into playing sports
Yeah.
or just being an active and.
Yeah. So small town, not a lot of opportunities for a lot of activities. I really didn't join sports until middle school. They weren't even available until like 5th and 6th grade.
How small a town is small town? Like in an Oklahoma reference.
Okay.
Like how many people
So,
were in your class, maybe?
I graduated with like 80.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, small.
Yeah, the town was about 2,000 people, and that was like the little towns that came into that town for school too.
Okay.
So like,
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so Main Street wasn't very long.
no, it's like 4 stop signs. We still do not have a stoplight. They have a roundabout now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fancy.
So basketball and so I did some like youth track, I guess, leading up to that.
Okay.
They didn't have anything really organized, but you could do like this kids regional track, and if you won your regional thing, you could go to the state thing that went to maybe the national thing. Like Hershey's track meet was what this was like leading to. This was like probably
before?
4th and 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
kind of a club sport
9,
type
10.
thing, sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, there's no practice for it. You just show up at a track meet, and if you want to compete, you compete and see what happens. So,
I like it.
so I did that, made it to like the state meet when I was 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then the real cool piece of this is that in South Dakota at the time, I don't know if this is still the same, in 7th grade, you can be on the high school team.
Okay.
So when I joined track in middle school, I was on the varsity team.
You got promoted fast.
Fast. Yeah, I was fast for a little girl in a little town. Yeah.
This is where the
Yeah.
world record comes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
The world
Okay.
record.
World-
Okay. The world record is because at the high school, which distance?
Yeah, I don't know if any of them still exist. The 400.
Okay.
So quarter mile, I had a personal record, and then a team like relay record that I held.
Right. Which
So.
in
You-
Danielle's mind is.
Yeah.
You held the record.
I held, I don't
Yeah,
know if
you-
it still holds or not. I would
We
have to go
need
back
to,
and
we
look.
need to figure
What
this
is
out.
that? Do you know what
But
that
in
time
my
is?
mind, you're the world record holder for
Yeah.
the sprint.
Oh.
AJ agrees.
To be honest, I don't remember the
There
time.
you go.
Yeah, it was that important to me.
Oh my
was
gosh, we gotta
sprinting-
But
go
it's like if
Google
somebody
this.
asked me what my deadlift PR is, I'm
Right.
like, I don't know. It's not that
Something.
important to me.
It's- Right.
Mm.
Right.
I would know
Where
the
did the-
sprint time.
Where did the
We gotta-
sprinting come from? Did either one of your parents,
we
were
gotta
they
ask your mom.
athletic people?
No. My dad dabbled in wrestling a little bit, but
Right.
No.
Minimal.
I was like born looking like a sprinter, though. I had quads and
Right.
glutes.
Right.
And
Right.
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
Just a cheetah out of the gate. Okay. So, and then all right. So sprinted in high school. Track was the main sport.
yeah, I also played basketball.
Basketball, which is
I
a bunch
loved
of running.
basketball. I was like not a star basketball player, but played well enough and
Right.
out hustled everyone else.
Right.
to
Right.
type of a player.
Effort
Yeah.
wins. Right. And then fitness from then. So now let's, because I say that from you were in athletics in high school, and in the age of like I'm 39 in life, but also this is a good reference to training age. So you had been, I mean, when was your first time memorizing? You could remember being in like the gym.
Yeah. My freshman year of high school, I was like
Okay.
the only girl in the weight room
Right.
in the off season.
And that was what, 14?
I was 14.
Yeah.
What pushed you to do that when you were? Do you remember when you were 14? But like being the only girl, like how did that?
Well, at the time, basketball was in the fall, track was in the spring, and I didn't play volleyball and didn't do any of the winter sports. So thought, and I could drive at 14, so I could
Right.
stay after school,
Right.
lift weights in preparation for track. Mainly was like my
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody like say that you would benefit from it, or were you just like, oh, I just want to keep
No,
doing
it was just a
stuff through
coach saying
the-
like, hey, the weight room's open.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll be there.
Okay.
I don't remember that it was ever a
Thing.
Mhm.
like join us.
Right. Right. So from 14 to 39, this is the training age. I guess this kind of when you talk about like I'd gotten to this point at
Mhm.
39 where you're doing these things, it's not only being 39, but it's also thinking like, well, this is almost 24 years, 25
Yeah.
years of like doing stuff, which is accumulation of a lot of time, which kind of puts you into this window of like a lot of things to reflect back on like the evolution to your process. It wasn't like 39 was like year 2 of being in exercise.
Right.
It'd been quite a while. So we go to high school, and then you said that you were getting into the high intensity stuff before Maddox, firstborn,
Yeah.
the boy,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
The boy.
Okay. And then what was fitness and gym stuff from college until Maddox? What was that years? What was that gap?
That was just showing up at any kind of box gym. So
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
college, it was going to the health center and
Yeah. Right.
doing some lunges and some squats and
Right.
some press and some pull and hitting some yoga classes. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And how many years was that? Because how
Yeah.
old were you when you had Maddox?
I was.
Oh, I'm really trying to do
Yeah,
math right now.
I was 30. I was 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 10 years of playing around,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so from 14 to 30, 30 to 39, 30 to 39, a pretty big transformative 9 years of like probably what you would think was probably your deepest dive into fitness alongside with the pregnancies?
Yeah, I guess it was. I mean, it's the most like probably vivid. It was
Mm-hmm.
probably the most amount of time doing like kind of the
Right, the
same
most,
thing
like-
for so long.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally like day in, day out, hours a week of doing it. Because probably, I would assume, in the 20s it was school and then job, marriage,
Yeah.
and then work. And then what did you do for work outside of college?
I moved to Oklahoma to be a child life specialist at
'Kay.
the Children's Hospital,
Okay.
which just in short was I helped kids and their families deal with the stress of being hospitalized, what they were going through, help them understand, and hopefully develop effective coping. So helping people do hard things.
Great. And
which
that,
is
and,
not
and
unlike
that was your that was your degree, your education?
Child development and family science. Yep, I have
Okay.
a master's degree.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
And then so exercise, what was the point of exercise during your 20s? Just it was
He
there?
said, what was the point?
It was just always part of my routine. And I would say there's probably in my 20s there was always that, like, not that I was ever chasing an aesthetic, but like I was fit and wanted to remain fit.
Right.
There were definitely parts, like moving to Oklahoma, like things shifted, and I remember like probably being the heaviest that I ever was, which was like probably an extra 10 pounds on my body, which felt really foreign. And I was like, oh, at that point it's like, okay, let's kind of like change some things, crank some things.
What was the main motivation to come to Oklahoma from the Dakotas? Because that's kind of a wild shift.
Yeah. I applied for jobs all over the country and landed in Oklahoma.
Yeah. And who else was in Oklahoma?
My now husband.
I was going to say, maybe we can get into this story as
just
well.
Just coincidence. She ends up where Hardell is. Just
because I love this story.
I mean, like, things definitely aligned, but yeah, he was not the like motivator for it, but he was kind of a great bonus for it.
Yeah. Because you met Hardell in the Dakotas.
Yeah, I was in between my first and second year of grad school.
Yeah.
Met him at a bar when he was up there coaching. Yeah.
And then he happened to be in Oklahoma, and you happened to be getting a job in Oklahoma. Yeah. And then how long until you guys were engaged?
Quite a few years, actually.
Okay.
I was here for about a year and a half before we like seriously started dating, and then dated a couple more years before we got engaged.
Because you guys ran into each other at like a stop sign, right?
Yeah.
Or a stoplight or something.
So when I first moved, we hung out quite a bit, and then it was this like, you go your way, I go my way type of a thing. And kept in contact kind of randomly, and then we were at a stop sign one day, and I get a call on my phone that says, you need to learn how to drive, lady. Anyway, it was a stop sign kind of snafu type of a thing, which led to, let's catch up, let's go out to dinner. How's tomorrow sound? 2 days later, I was like, this guy's trying to date me after... And I mean, at that point, I think I knew him 5 years. So, everything in its own time.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. And because the part about like where your fitness was, and then we have obviously a lot of questions about like where you are in Prevail and like things about exercisey that students and other instructors have asked. But I think it's important to know the background of like how much athletics and how much fitness has been part of your life for a long time, and where it was and where it wasn't part of your life. Hardell, Hardell Moore is also a fairly active guy, and was a pretty active guy because he is a...
he wrestled at Oklahoma State for 4 years and was a national runner-up.
Yeah, no big deal.
Kind of a...
He's famous now. Hardell Moore coming at you live from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
He now gets to be on a microphone often commentating. So, yeah, fitness, just kind of our two lives. I think that's one of the things that we really had in common. He spent a lot of time coaching in his years post college. I mean, that's really where most of his exercise up until just a few years ago came from, just being in the wrestling room with a bunch of kids.
Right. Like just physically rolling around all the time.
Yeah. And he also recognized the importance of that and knew from the get-go that it was something that was important to me. So even in crazy life building stuff was like, it never was an issue of like, we can't make time for that. It was just kind of a no-brainer given, which I feel really blessed about. Yeah,
just default. Like this is just part of our day or our week.
Yeah.
Did you ever like when you guys were dating? Did you ever like go to the gym with him?
No.
Did you ever like try to race him? Because I would have tried to be like, we're gonna race.
No.
Because I hold the world record and. All right.
I mean, we've raced in our driveway, like with the kids.
And you won?
No.
Who won?
Unfortunately not. Yeah, he did by just a little.
Tiny bit. But he probably cheated. So
his legs are probably a little longer. That's not fair.
He and Maddox always get a head start,
Boys trying to cheat all the time.
Oh, man. Egos.
So fitness was not something, because I think sometimes people think from, like you and I fitness was the thing that like that's how we met, and we do fitness together all the time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of couples who just value fitness, but it's not something they do together.
Yeah.
But it was a value that both of you had. Like both of you were like, being active and being fit is super important just as individuals, but as a couple, it wasn't really something you guys shared ever.
Correct. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Right?
He had his things he liked to do, and
Mm-hmm.
I had mine, and it really worked better for us to not try and do it together even. It was like a divide and conquer type of a thing, especially when kids entered the mix of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to learn that.
Yeah, that does change a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. One of the questions was, what was your pre and post natal like exercise health
My dream
routine? I guess because obviously,
and what would you change or something?
Yeah.
I guess from 1 to 2 to what you would. So if you think this is what I did 1, this is what I did 2, in a theoretical perfect world, were one of those closer or better, or is there like a third variation of that?
You know how people have like ideas of how they want like birth to go? I had ideas of how I wanted like pregnancy to go and my and staying active, and it all just kind of went out the window. I had pretty early with Maddox like some significant like kind of back pain, and where I was training at the time, even though it was a couple that I really trusted and she had experience having babies, they were like, I don't even know what to tell you to do type of thing. So I didn't get the support that I felt like I needed to be able to keep moving in a way.
30 at that time? Yeah. Okay.
And then soon after that ended up in this high risk-ish sort of pregnancy where I was like modified bed rest. So doing absolutely nothing from like 5 months all the way through delivery. Got up and moving, walking as soon as I could with Maddox. I remember strapping him on and heading outside.
How soon?
I mean, just a few days old, getting him outside for that. But like not doing anything beyond that probably.
Right.
Like for a while. Again, like this kind of circles back to, or points forward, I guess, to why I ended up kind of pursuing some education for myself, because I couldn't at the time find the support that I needed to know how to do it safely. And at the time it was just full of like fear, like do not let your heart rate go above 140 when you're pregnant. And
because that's
and don't do this and that.
Definitely don't lift over 25 pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
20, that's 2010ish.
Yeah, he was born in 2011.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do remember, like, he was 3 or 4 months. I do remember vividly being back in the gym that I was in before pregnancy. And I honestly don't remember what I did in between. Like, if I did anything at home, it's all just a blur with a newborn baby at home.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I do remember going back to that, which was kind of like a circuit style, not necessarily a boot campy thing, but went back there and he came in the carrier. And he had this transition time of about maybe 15, 20 minutes where Hardell would come in and scoop him up and take him home. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon type of a thing. Like, and getting back into a consistent routine then.
And so before you were in the big box gyms in the 20s, now you're in your 30s and you're going to something that's instructor led or something that was...
Yeah, it was instructor led. And that was just from a friend that I worked with. She, the things that we like cringe at now as like instructors, right? She came into a meeting and could barely like sit on the chair, and she's like, "Oh, I started this new class and I'm so sore." And I was like, "Oh, tell me about it." Glutton for punishment. So that's, kind of word of mouth is like found that. But yeah, that was my first experience in like outside of something like a step or body pump at the Y or something.
Right. Because now we're in the 2010 to 15s where pretty much I think this is right around the edge of like deep into the boot camp CrossFit.
P90X was like all over TV type of a thing.
Yeah, it was the first time that like someone was taking this, like, there's the weight room, there's cardio machines, and now there's this weird functional move your body through space with a bunch of implements stuff happening, right?
Yeah. And I remember thinking, like, I get everything I
Right,
need,
right,
quote, I need
right.
in like an hour
Right,
is what it felt
right,
like at the
right.
time.
Because it's kind of like that style then was, which is still around now, but it was kind of like this buffet idea of like, let me just get a piece of everything as much as I can, as fast as I can in the shortest amount of time. Because I'm kind of like checking all the boxes as fast as I possibly can. Kind of that world, right? And that's what made that style of training blow up so fast, was because it felt so efficient, right?
Yeah.
You felt like you did something.
Right.
Leaving.
Every time you felt like you did something, because how would you not? You just did a bazillion exercises and 6 bazillion reps.
Sweaty.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because that is the exact same time I was teaching a circuit style class at Red Rock, pre-Prevail from 2011, 12, 13. And it literally was 8 to 12 stations of 60 to 2 minutes of whatever random exercise, and you just rotate on a negative split over and over and over again. Okay. And then you continue to do that through Emory? Because that's like what, 3 years, 3.5 years?
I left there at some point.
Okay.
Oh, Jane she says, I want to talk.
She's joining us.
Yeah. Sweet girl. At some point, that gym closed down.
Okay.
And then I ended up at like the YMCA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So back to a little more self-paced,
Yeah.
some random
Kind of
classes,
exactly.
stuff,
Yeah.
right? And you did that all the way up with Emory.
Yep. And then again, they were like, you're high risk,
Uh-huh.
so you need to really dial back on everything. So again, took the advice of my doc and didn't have anyone else to guide me into anything that would have been still safe and moving, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But the high risk is now because you are 34.
Yeah, and there was some things that, like, when Maddox was delivered, they're like, whoa, like, we're surprised he's this healthy baby. My blood pressure was like kind of this like skirting sort of high now and then, they thought, but delivery of the placenta was like, nope, you in fact were like, your blood pressure was high a lot, and this baby was like really at risk.
Whoa.
Yeah. So kind of this big like, oh, so, you know, pregnancy number 2.
Pump the brakes on everything.
Pump the brakes
right.
on everything.
Right.
Really monitor all of that. Yeah. Get out of the weight room and get out of all that high intensity stuff. And then, again, about, 4 or 5 months after she was born, I think I was kind of back at the YMCA, kind of doing that stuff. They had some childcare. I had my mom that could help out some. And then when she was like 10 or 11 months, joined a new like boot camp.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Craziness.
So we'll go back to the pre-post. Do you think that with Maddox and Emory, knowing that information you know now and what you were given then, what would you have changed?
Oh yeah. I would have known that there was a dial that just needed to be adjusted versus this on-off switch. And if I listened to my body like I tend to do, I would have been just fine. I didn't need to be fearful of keep moving my body in a way that it was very used to, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because on the doctor side, on the medical side, they have to kind of lean on this like on-off switch, because they can't speak into the gray, because then that doesn't give any direction to their patients.
And there are literally no studies, because you can't do studies on pregnant women.
Right. There's no real data for any of these docs to be like, well, I think you should. And, well, my cousin did this thing once. And you're like, well, that's not really. Like, let's just go the safe bet and let's not do anything.
Yeah.
But now we know that it's the same gradient as someone who's never done exercise in the last 20 years who's starting exercise. Yeah. It's just really understanding how much in tune you are with your own process.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I mean, I'm sure doctors would love to say, like, listen to your body.
Right. But people have no clue.
Right. Yeah. Right. But somebody, if they don't have any reference, then that would be really hard.
Yeah. If you don't have any reference or you
They're
don't have
just kind of
any
like covering their.
Yeah.
Right. Or if there's no
and they're only doing what they've been taught.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no network of like real professionals who've had reps and experience prior to that to be like, well, in the last 15 women that I've trained, I have noticed this, this, and this. At that time, they were like, you couldn't even find someone who trained a woman who was pregnant.
Right.
Like, it's non-existent.
Right.
So listening to, but really the big takeaway from the pre-post is like to get outside of the on-off mindset.
Yeah.
Right. And especially, we've had some women come into Prevail. They've become pregnant and they've been like, hey, I need to go, I need to cancel. I need to go on hold. Doc said I can't lift more than 20 pounds. And then they just like, they have no room for conversation, no room to dive into what that means. There's like, Doc said, and next thing you know, these people don't do any exercise for one, because we have women who come into the studio all the time and they're like, well, I was exercising before kid number 1. I've had 3 kids now and I haven't done anything. And it's just because, well, one, the complications with time and energy become super hard. But there's also, if you lead with that first one and the doc's like, don't lift anything, and now you lead these pregnancies with fear, it's going to take a long time to get back to being like excited and not fearful, but like, I guess whatever is the word opposite of fearful. What's the feeling opposite of fearful? Like, I don't know, giving yourself space to like entertain the conversation. Yeah. Right.
And if you're like, well, if I know I'm going to get like pregnant again, like.
Right. Right. Like, I might as well not start because they're going to tell me.
I mean, there's all
it's
sorts of reasons like that.
6 months from now. And, speaking of, she is angry. So she'll wake up. And if she doesn't get food immediately after waking up and she goes right to like trying to change her, the world has ended.
Wrong order, Mom. Or Dad. Yeah.
Yes. The world has ended in Andy's mind if you are not feeding her post-nap, regardless of how long that nap is. And then Danny can't handle that she's sitting in dirty anything. So it's a fight between the two of them, which happens first, to feed or to get cleaned up. Okay. I got distracted. Pre-postnatal. That was the question. Right. Yeah. Really, it's if you can't, I guess this is hard. If you don't have, you had the reps of 14 to 30 to go listen to your body, from 30 to 39 to listen to your body.
Had I been given that permission.
Yeah. If someone would have been like, listen, or even if the doc would have been like, well, how long have you been exercising? What have you been doing for exercise? And what's the gradient of exercise you're used to? What's the amount of load you're used to? And like, okay, well, let's take that and let's like start at 50 or 70%. And then let's learn this gradient, right? But a doctor's not going to ask those questions.
Yeah. And even the other side of that too, I was with professionals that I thought knew some things, but they also did not give me alternatives of like, this thing doesn't feel great. What can I do different? So who you train with also matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because if you don't have the reps to create self-awareness, then you need to have someone by your side who does have the repetitions of lots of awareness, which is the importance of having a professional who's got either personal and professional experience with babies and moms as she runs across the room to feed Andy again. But that's the number one thing is like, if you're asking yourself the question, what should I be doing? I just found out I'm pregnant. What should I be doing? And you already can't come up with those answers. That's when it's like, we should really start having conversations with professionals who have had these experiences. That's the next part, is so they can kind of like take this assessment and go, well, this is probably the prescription, knowing this assessment to kind of go, at least give people a gradient of where to go, and we've had, Morgan's on her second kid right now, but that makes, and Danny, that makes like what? In the 5 years you've been at Prevail, how many women have gone full term at? Yeah, and Michelle and Erin. Jana and Tracy. Killa P. Yeah, that's 6, 7.
Kaylee?
Yep, Kaylee, right? And then 7, 8. That's easy. That's just right off the top of her head. That's 7 or 8 women. There's got to be 1 or 2 other ones along years ago that have kind of gone through that. And some of them, and that's the part too, is some of them can go literally, like Michelle Osborne went full, like kid one, she was lifting 3 days a week, pretty much at 80%, pretty much capacity, all the way until the day of. Like all the way up until like literally the same Friday. And she had first kid that Friday night. And we've had other women who've come in and it's been like week 11 and they're like, oof, I'm barely walking in here.
Right.
Like this has got to be I got to change some things, which is normal. That's the point, is like there's going to be this huge spectrum of people and there is no normal, which also when someone asks, what would you change? You're like, well, I can't really say like a prescriptive, like, oh, well, you should lift 38 pounds 4 times, for 6 hours a week, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I would change like having the right person in my path to like help me just keep moving.
There we go.
Yeah.
Love that. Perfect. So now that you've been at Prevail for 5 years, Maddox and Emery are now how old? 14 and almost 11. Almost 11, right? So
yeah, that little girl is grown up in Prevail.
Yeah, right. Because she basically, from 6 to 11. So it's pretty formative couple of years.
Yeah. Because I started part-time. She was like preschool, like 4.
Right.
Yeah. Or maybe that's when I started as a student. So I've been at Prevail more than 5 years.
6 years. 6 years this summer.
Yeah. So Emery was 4.
Yeah, and I remember seeing like them getting exchanged at the studio.
Yeah.
Like they would be hanging out watching, and then Maddox and then Hardell would come and
swoop them
up at the front at the old studio.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think about. Your first memorable experience in the gym was on a street race at 5 years old, and Emery's first memory of being in a gym is going to be 2 parts. It's going to be in the wrestling room with Hardell, and it's going to be watching you lift at either.
Yeah, she was with me from the time she was probably 11, 12 months
Right,
old.
right.
Yeah.
So she's never not seen that environment growing up. And then Maddox is pretty much on the same track. I mean,
and I got to be his first personal trainer, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
And then they've been in sports since how old?
I mean, 3 probably. Yeah. I mean,
right.
all the energy. Everybody puts their kid in soccer so they can wrangle cats out there. Growing up in the wrestling room. Yeah. Maddox did his first wrestling tournament when he was like 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of got more into it when he was like 5 and 6.
Right. And his first memory of being on the weight room was with you.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is just such a cool thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome to like.
And that actually listens to his mom,
Is that changing?
No, he values everything I say. Emery questions everything I say.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Emery's got a little more.
She's a little spicy pickle.
A little more spice to her about what's going on.
Yeah.
Is she spicier with you or with Hardell?
Oh, with me for sure.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
Noted. Danny, do you think it's a girl thing?
Yes.
Is it
it's a like push back at your mom thing. It's got to be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then Hardell just melts around her.
Well, no, she will if she's wanting to be spicy, he just has to look at her and the spiciness disappears.
She understands.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, because there's no space for that.
0. Oh, no, not with the Hardell Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So that's awesome. And then they've been super active. They've been in the gym.
Yeah.
Seasonally.
Yeah.
Year after year after year after year, and they're doing stuff.
Emery is in her first current season to not be in a organized sport, and she may go into wrestling again this fall. But she does dance and she does theater, and she's very athletic. So she's in a kids gym class right now, which it's fun for her, and there's no real agenda or goal, but they get to track progress of what's your plank time and how many pull-ups can you do, and getting her first taste of how to set a goal and stuff, and have it not be mom that's doing it. Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. And you said earlier that you were kind of like, we'll go into the Prevail history part-time, because there's been other questions about how do you manage it so well, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the everythings, right? You got to manage a hard on more, which, and then you are, so the fitness industry is kind of a unique machine in that it doesn't run like most businesses run, which I think a lot of people also don't understand how unique the fitness industry is compared to almost any other industry out there, in that a lot of the times, unfortunately, personal trainers are never taken seriously.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this hobby-esque. Photography is kind of another one that's weird like that, where it's like, oh, you kind of do that on the side. It's not a real job,
Like you're kind of good at a thing, so now you...
Right, because a lot of people...
people see it as that.
We won't go into like a big soapbox about the personal training industry and the gym industry, but it's one of the few industries that the barrier to entry is so low, which then kind of takes away the predictable quality that you would get in the industry, right? On the flip side, that's also meant that the fitness industry has become a very flexible, kind of wild machine in how people interact with it personally or professionally, right? So there are, there's group fitness instructors who that's like someone who's teaching a pre-programmed kind of class at a YMCA lifetime thing, right? And there's varying degrees of difficulty in there from like a teaching side. And there's all the way to like the flip side of personal trainers who work only with advanced golf athletes, right? And there's like this huge range between what this means from like a level of education, professionalism, and level of experience, and what you've had to like, how much you want to work. So at Prevail, there's part-time instructors, there's full focus instructors, and then there's like a full-time employee instructor person, right? And a lot of people look at these part-time fitness people as in like, it's just some like side hustle you're kind of doing along the way. And then
what else do you do along with this?
Right.
You get
what
that
else
question.
is...
Yeah, Whitney, where are you when you're not here?
Right. Where else?
Yeah.
Like, what else do you do?
Yeah.
When you were when you reached out, came to Prevail, you were currently studying for your NASM.
Yeah.
At that time,
just finished it.
You
and
had
realized I know some stuff,
right.
but don't know that I know enough to be a super confident trainer.
Right.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. And at that time, that was probably because before then, post your college post job, right? Your job was mom, 100%, right? Getting all the way through. Because how old was Emery at that time? 4 or 5?
4. Yep.
Somewhat autonomous.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Like away from me for extended hours at a time.
Right. Which gave you some breathing to go, well, all right.
Yeah.
Where do I want to put some energy? Where do I want to put some focus? Where do I see myself, like, what would myself 20 years ago really love to have seen out of a personal trainer?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's kind of the motivation behind it?
Yeah. I'd say there was like multiple factors in that, but the biggest one was, can I fill a need that needs to be there? This is something I've always been passionate about. Kind of working with people and helping them in some way is like always like the big umbrella. Yeah. Right. It just shifted what that looked like from, working with teeny tiny people and their parents with like really hard things to something else that I'm passionate about. That had, a little more flexibility in what that looked like, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's still, all of that is in the same people development world.
Yeah.
It's just getting people from problem to solution.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing via conversation or via dumbbell. It's or a dumbbell and a conversation, which happens up a lot too. Yeah. So you came to Prevail as a student. I want to learn more about this. You were studying, and we're like, cool. We'd love to have you here. You were a student for
like
6 months?
6 months.
Maybe 6 months, right?
Yeah. It was like approximately, like June, and then December, I think, is when.
Pretty close to that.
Like,
okay, but your first time in the studio, I had a photo shoot that night, but I was like, I've got to meet this girl because you were on a billboard.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You guys are missing very important pieces.
Oh, she's back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
You were on a billboard.
Yeah, I was on a billboard for
and you and your friend came in. Yeah, for a different gym.
Yeah.
But you walked in. I got to meet you.
So nervous, like still walking into strange places. Just so when a student walks in and they're like, "I am anxious," is that normal? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
You were nervous to walk into Prevail, and you were on another gym's billboard.
Yeah.
And at this point, had been exercising for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I was
Longer
excited.
than that.
Yeah.
I was like, this girl's on a billboard. Got to meet her. And then you left, and we were like, you think we can have her?
Basically.
Basically.
Yeah. Because we could see, like, energies aligned, and we were like, oh, she's been missing a Prevail for a long time, right? And the exact same sense of, like, Prevail's missing a Whitney as well. Like, we should really, like, push and see what we can do here, because we know that she's interested, and, you know, training people has always been, obviously, super important to us, but training and trainers is also, like, that's what we really love doing, is helping people become professionals in this industry and, like, doing it the right way. That was 6 months of being a student at Prevail, shifting a lot of it of focus, and how you approached the time in the gym.
A lot of it of focus.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
And then you had tried training at...
Yeah, a friend asked me to help them open up a boot camp down in Norman. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, just 1 day a week. You don't have to give me a commitment for how long. I just need you like in a couple sessions. And I said, oh, okay. It works with our schedule. Sure, why not? And it was the fastest glimpse, clear as day. Like, this is not the training style that I want and desire to be in.
I remember you made that post that you were like, I'm going to be training at wherever.
Yeah.
And immediately sent you a Facebook message. We were like, hey, if for whatever reason this doesn't align with you, we would love to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So a couple months later, I said, let's circle back. What does that conversation look like and sound like? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was immediate.
Yeah.
It was like 3 seconds after you made the post. I was like, we missed our opportunity.
We missed it.
No. But
we better say something.
Yeah.
Better say something now.
Yeah.
And that at that point, it was the same, like, now we're getting into, I want to be in this industry, but this is something that my number one focus is being a mother.
Yeah.
Right. And a wife.
Right.
That's like my number one focus.
Yeah. Because I had an owner ask me, when I was first looking at getting certified, and the gym that I was at, I ironically went to them and I was like, I have this idea about like onboarding students. Like, how can we set them up for better success? That's not really like something we're interested in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then talked about what it would look like to just train there. And it was like, my mornings are kind of like they're for my family and like this. And they're like, well, maybe at some point you get a nanny for that. And I was like, well, the point of this is for me to not have to do that, because I could go back to my full-time career and have a nanny that does that. But
so came to Prevail in the sense of like, all right, I want to do this. Here's my availability. I've got some like afternoons. I think it was afternoons. I think it was like
I had like
2 days at like 5:30 or something.
Weird midday hours that did not work for Prevail at that time.
Right.
Oh, true.
Right. We did some power. I did
maybe
some,
you did like a
packs.
9 a.m. for a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
I did.
Not. I don't know.
Yeah. Because she would have been in school like 9:30 to 2:30 when I first started.
Right.
And so it was this like, did we trial at 12 o'clock or something? But mainly I was doing power packs and then one evening a week. Yeah, that's when I started.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then built on as my availability opened up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that time it was part-time in Prevail, 3-ish hours a week type of roughly. Yeah. And that was probably a year and a half.
Yeah. Well, you have to think, this
COVID
happened during
happened.
COVID. So then I shifted to like, I did a lot of the online.
Right.
I love the online stuff.
That's right. The COVID.
The COVID. The Rona.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you joined like It was, well, like officially it was like December of 2019, and then.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
2 months later.
Yeah.
3 months later.
Mm-hmm.
Shutting down the gym. Okay. And then you went part-time for a while. And then what was the, like, kind of along that, when did we move into this full focus, like, position at Prevail? Was that the new studio?
It was at the new studio, definitely, yeah. At that time, both kids were in school full-time.
There we go.
So my window, like, opened up more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was teaching some group classes,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had some personal training
Mm-hmm.
that I was bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
And I, just figured, like, if my kids are at school, I need something to do.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah.
And this is something I'm super passionate about, and just was able to, and like the PT clients just kind of like.
Yeah.
Organically. Yeah. Like I wasn't really like seeking a bunch. It was just like, hey, there's this person. Hey, there's this person. And that just kind of built in it. And then the studio grew to where we needed more midday sessions, and that really aligned better with schedule and stuff too.
Yeah. So full focus, we kind of, what that means in the industry is like, sometimes there are people who are in industry part-time, 2 to 3 hours a week. They have another thing going on, whether or not that be like deep into their family or deep into another job. And then the part-time thing is something they do as a passion project kind of idea, right? Which does not take away from the legitimacy of the people, right? And then what we call like full focus is not that Prevail is a bigger or more important focus than your family. There's just more capacity.
Yeah.
Where professionally, this is your main focus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get into full time, and that's where someone is spending the majority of their week, the majority of their energy and time into that thing. And there's a huge gradient there. And fitness industry is really unique about how people can kind of like float back and forth between all those things. So you've been full focus at Prevail for at least 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Which means depending on the time of year, time of day, time of week, right? How many hours, because when people talk about manage, like how does Whitney manage? How does she do this? How does she keep everything together and always look perfect and have everything, all of her ducks in a row, right?
It's all an illusion.
Ducks are in a row.
No,
Ducks are in a row. It's an illusion. Well, if it's an illusion, it's still happening. Some people can't even make the illusion happen.
Yeah. I've always just like followed the lead of like, I feel like if I want to crank, like that stuff just kind of happens. And on the seasons where I feel like it needs to like shift, it all kind of happens again that direction. So making it,
I know.
like if we're talking like this question of like making it work, I mean, I really couldn't do it if I didn't have a spouse who had a job that also had some flexibility in it. My ability to like give more at Prevail really does rely on that. You know, to do some evenings and even like a morning and not be the sole person that like has to get the kids to school and that kind of a stuff.
Yeah. Because Hardell does not work a traditional 8 to 5.
Yeah, he's in the pharma world, and you know, if he needs to shift he just won't schedule a meeting at 8 o'clock on a Friday morning if I need to be at the studio. Type of a thing. So making like things clear, like inside the family too, of what things are important. Like it's a pretty good like team effort for that. I think number one, to like make this happen so that I can be full focus. And then the like making it work, it's like figuring out, I mean, I love a routine, but a routine always doesn't love me. For the best version of me, I need to like have a little something inserted that makes it a little uncomfortable so that I can like stretch a little. And I think that's kind of always constantly happening, so that I have to like do this like pivot of here and there. And I go through seasons or a semester of school where I think like I have overdone it on both ends and like need to figure out how to like pull something back to like make this feel better for all of us. But
so when you talk about communication, because as an example, you probably work I mean, on an average week, you're probably delivering service at Prevail 12, 15 hours a week.
I'm probably at the lowest I've been in a little while, and I'm probably at like 12. And at my highest was like 20 to 30 some weeks.
When the PT was really high.
Yeah. Yeah. And like there were less people to take power packs and
Right.
that.
Yeah, a little less staff.
Yeah.
You had at one point you had 6, 7 personal training clients.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite a bit on top of the other stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So there's this 12 to 15 hours of stuff, and then there is how many hours do you think a week you put into your personal fitness? Excluding we'll exclude walking.
She said, what time do you have to get out of here?
Yeah, I have to pick up a kid at 4.
It's 3:22.
Okay. We've got like 15 minutes to wrap this
Okay.
up.
Okay.
I lift, depending on if it's a full lift session, 3 to 5 times a week.
Okay.
So sometimes it's like a 20 minutes one day and finish that at the 20 minute another day. I get 1 to 2 zone 2 cardios a day, and sometimes that's backed up. I mean, so I'm 6-7 hours a week.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have 2 teenagers.
2 teenagers.
Right. And a husband.
An almost teenager.
Yeah. She might as well. Don't. She's.
We joked last week. I was like, she acts more like a teenager than Maddox does a lot of the time.
So cute.
She's the best.
I love her. She brings the sass.
So you're managing 2 kids, sports, husband. You're managing inside of fitness. You're managing 20 plus hours a week, right?
Yeah.
And when you talk about communication, does that mean that you're communicating with Hardell how important those 20 hours are? Are you communicating with Hardell and the kids about how important that is? Like, is that communication happening on a daily constant basis, or is that something that's like every few days or every few weeks? Like, how does that, if you think about someone that's at the studio or trying to get into fitness and they're managing those things and they have a spouse who's not as excited about it, where does the person come and say, man, I really have to like set some boundaries for me and my family to prioritize this in my life? That communication, what does that look like for you guys?
Well, I feel luckily that I never had to have like that, like
hard sit down.
Yes. And it was like, this is just something we always did. So how are we going to make it work?
Right.
But, just like at the studio, you want to like give a compliment and give a correction and then, move on, maybe make a suggestion from there. Conversations at home aren't much different.
Right.
It's, I appreciated when you did that for me, like that worked really well. Can we make that like a consistent, pointing out all the ways that this is beneficial?
Because what you did today didn't work. I'm just kidding.
Pointing out all the ways that it benefited me as a person, that's trickled down like into the family.
Yeah.
But usually, we're at a point now where it's just like part of this, like, hey, this thing is coming up in a couple of days. Are you available to like, is your schedule open there?
Right.
Yes, no, maybe. Okay, cool. Who else do we have in our circle network that we can like pull from?
Right.
Asking for help and like rides for kids and stuff used to be really hard for me. I do not have a problem with that anymore because I have given enough to others that I also know that people are usually happy to help if it works, and they just say no if they can't.
Yeah.
So. It's like you have a little team, kind of.
Yeah. The people, it's like, hey, we need a pick up here and a ride there, and how does that work? Hardell was out of town last week, which made me like the sole person to like do all the things and get the kids to and from, and a lot of times at the same time or so close to, and then, oh crap, that's the time for this. And it was like, okay, well, how are we still going to make this work? So it's, make your network or your net wider, maybe too.
Right. And then, so with the communication, I think one part of that is that you lead with like a positive feedback loop, right?
Yeah.
Like as often as possible. Things aren't always like perfect and butterflies and sunshine, but if you're constantly leading with the positive loop of like this feedback of how this process is going, right? The process is much more likely to continue to move forward than kind of like fighting it from a negative side over and over and over again, right? And just making it a priority and making it flexible. You talked about having a routine, but then sometimes you have to stretch your routine, which is kind of like being an expectation that you're going down a lane, but there's lots of wiggle room to bounce back and forth inside this lane. But you've got these like kind of non-negotiables on both sides of it. They're like, no matter what, I'm hitting these, but I've got lots of flexibility back and forth as long as I'm not back to the beginning of the conversation. Like I'm not on the on-off switch about stuff. I'm just like figuring out how I can take this dimmer switch and then brighten it and dim it, brighten it and dim it, back and forth constantly.
I feel like that's just how I live my life, where I'm just on a dimmer.
Yeah. And that's going to lead to more success because the longer you can keep the lights on, that's consistency. Like that's really what it comes down to, is like the light doesn't come off. It's just sometimes it's not as bright as other days. And I can't have the expectation that it's going to be a super bright light all the time.
Right. Last month I had that weird thing happen to my body. Don't really know what it was. It was not feeling great. I couldn't do all the things I was used to doing very easily. It would have been really easy for me to just turn that switch off and say like, very well, I guess I'm not meant to do anything now. My body's telling me like, don't move. Well, I knew that's not really the message. It was like, don't do some of these things, but it was just finding that, how can I keep moving? Giving it some stuff so that it still has space to like feel better, but I feel better too. And so that was I mean, you get reminded every now and then of those things too. On that gradient, let's see this question.
I don't have enough time. What do you think when someone says that as like a potential like student of fitness? What's your when someone says I can't do that because I don't have enough time? You just make the time.
I mean, I don't think it's true that everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. That I will say like flat out, like it looks different for everyone. But you have time to do something. You just, you're thinking that you need to go 100% in to this, whatever idea you have in your mind. Whereas again, just start with something. I used to ask personal training clients a lot, like, cause they'd say like, well, how many days a week should I see you? I was like, well, how many days a week do you think you have time to see me? And it's like, well, I mean, I could maybe do like 5. I was like, okay, well, like, could you for sure be here 3 days a week? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, then let's start there, because we can always add on, right? You want to create that like loop of success and then just build from there versus like all in. You know? Just start with something.
Yeah. And I think when someone says I don't have time, and they reference this conversation and they're like, well, yeah, but Whitney says she works out 6 to 7 hours a week. Don't I need to be working out 6 to 7 hours a week? And that's when I think when most people say I don't have the time, that's their expectation of that. And it's like,
I like work at a gym.
There's a lot of things leaning into like making this considerably more convenient, right? And it's been a normal part of your process for a long time. But it's like, you may not have 6 to 7 hours a week, but you might have like 6 to 7 minutes every day.
I've also been the person that brings a kettlebell to the parking lot when my kid is at an hour-long dance class. That doesn't give you enough time to leave to do something, but I can be outside.
So maximizing time and not worry about the opinions of others. And, you know, you've done step-ups at bleachers during canyon prep when there's kids at sports because just making stuff happen. Natalie asked, how can I be just like your...
She's on a very good start. She's already got 2 kids. They're just in opposite order. Okay.
Natalie.
I get to see those sweet kids tomorrow.
Let's see. Okay, good. Oh, okay. Jordan, how did you get this point in time of past history with Prevail, with fitness? We kind of went over that. And then current goals. Goals are a good one.
I know.
Right? Because as you go through the years of understanding SMART goals, small goals, big goals, what are your current goals out of fitness right now?
To do this for as long as I can,
right,
and as well as I can, as long as I can. Yeah.
Right. So the goal is to not stop.
Right.
Right. That's there's not a super hard subjective or object, I guess, not a hard like number goal. There's not a blank weight or a PR or some data, something. It's just, I really want for you to maintain this 6 to 7 hours of movement that serves me well, and I want to figure out how I can do that nonstop. Right.
And do adventures.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adventures. Is there any big adventure on the like annual or 2 year?
No.
Or is adventures to you like, what does that mean?
Yeah, like I'm talking like climb some things and hike some things or go down in some things and come back out. I have no, I don't have anything planned, but
no,
that is a goal.
List?
Goal is to like, work on
there.
my list. Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed an opportunity a few weeks ago, so now I'm a little salty about it.
Yeah. You don't have any hard, like, is there an actual like thing like on your list?
No.
Like a date or a place or
no,
just to do it is on the list. Yeah.
My goal is to like do one thing at least a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This fall didn't happen. So, like I said, I'm kind of salty about it.
So an annual out of state, pretty big thing that's a multi-hour type of day. Yeah, great. Marcy, has she had any mentors or statements of advice that really impacted her?
I'm sitting with my mentors, so
get out of here.
Yeah. No, I definitely would not be the instructor today if it wasn't for you guys. So I've continued to learn so much from you guys. So very blessed to be part of the Prevail system.
Prevail is blessed to have Whit, that's for sure. I guess, do you think that there's ever been a statement of advice? That's kind of, I see where she's coming from, because sometimes there are like certain mantras that people have kind of like leaned on throughout years of their life, or something that like was a pivotal moment in their time, that there was like a quote or a person along the way. Anything around there that was like a shift or an alignment with a person or a mantra? Besides your kids.
Yeah. I don't know that it's like a mantra or... Okay, what was the specific...
Has she had any statements of advice that really impacted her?
I don't know. It's not a statement of advice, but this kind of comes back to the adventure part. When you allow yourself to be uncomfortable and do hard things, whether it's a hike or a climb or a business adventure that feels out of reach and that scares you a little, like that's probably a good indication you should do it. I've seen so many students, myself included, that like, especially like the canyon or their first 14er, where they like get through that thing and they're like, oh, like that had a big impact, right? And you realize like that hard thing, you did it, you got through like to an actual other side or down from it or up from it.
Right.
And you see that kind of translate into their experience in the studio some too, when they kind of get back in there and they realize like, okay, I can maybe do some things that are a little harder. But I think also that just translates like into your life in general. Like life is not going to be freaking poppies and roses all the time. You know, babies are going to cry. They're going to spit up.
They're going to get fussy. They're going to be cute. They're going to be all the things. Okay. So. What do you enjoy most about being a Prevail instructor?
I love that I get to come alongside students no matter where they're at. If they have just starting, they have zero experience in exercise, or somebody that's been similar to me, that they've had like a lifetime of in and out of the gym and athletics and stuff. But like, how can I push them in a way that like meets them where they're at, but still gets them to like closer to their goals or where they want to be or where they don't even realize they're capable of. And like in Prevail, there's the opportunity to kind of get to experience all of that inside group and in personal training. So,
yeah, great. Do you have any, do you think of any questions for Danny and I?
Oh, I was supposed to think of questions?
I was thinking you interview us.
Oh, that's a whole nother one, I think.
Somebody did ask about your skincare routine and your nighttime wind down routine.
Ooh, my nighttime wind down routine. That
Okay.
is,
When does your nighttime round start?
I mean,
In the morning?
I mean, kind of, yeah. In an ideal day, I have eaten by 7.
Okay.
I've showered before 8.
'Kay.
I'm in my pajamas.
Okay.
Have some like good wind down time, just hanging on the couch with the family.
Okay.
Kids go off to brush their teeth at 9 o'clock. Even our 14-year-old get his ass to bed because he has the earliest alarm clock of them all in the house. Spend some time with each of the kids, and by then my body is like, I think it's getting close to that time. So we spend about maybe 20 more minutes talking with my husband, and then I'm off to my bed to read my book.
Okay.
And lights out.
Okay. What kind of book?
And how long do you read?
Until my eyes get heavy.
Do you take any supplements?
Oh, I take magnesium.
Okay. Before bed?
Yeah, I take that before, like probably 30 minutes before bed. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
That's one that I've noticed.
Fiction or nonfiction books?
Oh, before bed it has to be like light and fluffy. Like think of a Hallmark movie, but in a book.
Like a love story?
Kind of, mostly, yeah, because it's like you can leave, you can read a little bit and then put it down, and you're not like worried about what's going to happen.
Movie.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried the reading before bed thing, but all I have is like super non-fictional, like
Yeah. No.
Which puts me to sleep the
super
fastest.
detailed, like tactical books, and I can't ever sleep because my brain's on fire,
Yeah,
and I was
yours
like, I
turns on
cannot do
fire.
this.
Oh, not me. I would fall asleep so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Anything else?
Pizza or tacos?
Oh goodness.
Oh god. Tacos.
You're more of a burger girl.
I do. I love a burger. Yeah, give me all the red meat.
I asked you the wrong.
Steak.
I asked you the wrong question.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Desert or mountains?
Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Spring or fall? What?
Kind of the same.
Fall has had more adventures for me, I guess.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Anything else? She said we're supposed to have quick fire
Well, now
questions.
I'm squats or deadlifts?
Oh goodness.
Deadlifts. Yeah.
Press or pulls?
Pull.
Okay.
Favorite style of day at the studio? Build, lift, or hybrid?
Lift.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's the most attended day at the studio, by the way. Okay. What else? Andy?
Do you have anything, ma'am? Because you've had 9 snacks during this podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Nope, she's good.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Now she's got things to say. There we go to wrap it up. Whitney Moore, thank you very much for being on our podcast.
The Whitney Moore
The-
world record holder.
The Whitney
Yeah.
Moore record holder. And what's the name of the town? The 2,000 people town.
The shoosh.
That is
Wait.
Sisseton.
Snooze.
Sisseton. But where
Sisseton.
the Snooze Alley Bash
Snooze.
is Peaver, and that
Ugh.
is only a town of like maybe 200 people.
Snoosh.
Whoa, Peaver.
Peaver is tiny.
Peaver.
Okay.
Snoosh.
Snooze.
Oh,
Yep.
this
Snooze.
definitely, that's a whole different language
Yeah.
up there.
I gotta remember this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there you go. So you can find Prevail on the internet. If you're listening on the YouTube, leave a comment for Whit. If you can find Whit more, what's Instagram?
Whitmore Prevailing?
Prevailing. Yeah.
Whitmore Prevailing on IG.
Yes.
She posts all the time, once a quarter.
That's okay.
Maybe if we tag her on something.
Yeah.
This will also be on Apple and Spotify.
There you go. I don't know how to. I don't know how to finish this now. We have a person here.
Thank you for your time today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for
How
having
do
me.
people usually end
Yeah.
podcasts?
I don't know. How,
We
this
need
is our
some
28th one. How do we
music-
we
use
need
music
some
it?
comes in.
exit
Oh,
music.
exit
I've
music.
been trying to get us a theme song. All right.
Okay.
We
All right.
usually
We'll think
summarize
one.
at the end. That's
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
what we do. It's
summarize.
a typical thing.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Okay.
Bye.